Welcome back to the second episode of Talking Trilogy, a side project of the Tee Off podcast where I, Dylan Feldman, together with Paddy Robinson, are here to talk about the products we love from Latitude 64, Westside Discs and Dynamic Discs.
Yeah, as if we don't do this enough with our wives.
This is the second episode we've recorded, but I reckon we've got about 5 episodes of footage just before we started recording.
Pretty much, yeah. Actually, my wife's stoked that I'm doing this because, you know, I talk to you and then... Yeah, I get it all out.
The naughty corner, but you've set it up to be a podcast.
Pretty much, yeah.
Perfect. Perfect.
Well, yeah, look, we did put the pilot out and we've had like 50 views on YouTube, which is pretty cool. We haven't, we made a few posts and that sort of thing, but we haven't had too many people sort of reach out, but I haven't asked for feedback yet. So I think we better do that next time and ask for some questions to get sort of submitted and that sort of thing. But yeah, pretty stoked that we got it out there. I think that's the first step, Dill. So,
oh, definitely.
Yeah. All right. So let's just get straight into it, mate. Hey. So event recap. There's been a little bit happen, and look, the first pilot episode, some of those may have noticed that the event recap may have been a little bit late, but that's all right. We are going to just touch base on a few of the recent events in the last couple of weeks, and just highlight some of the trilogy players that we think really shone in those events. So, yeah, first up,
let's do it.
Yeah, the Professional Masters, the World Championships.
Which I think was like halfway through when we recorded the last episode.
It was.
So I think we mentioned it, but we have results now.
We do have results and some pretty solid results. In MP50, Johnny McRae, man, just coming out and taking the win. Huge effort from the guy. I mean, even the last like 3 or 4 years has been a bit of a comeback for him after he had his heart attack. So to see him getting up in MP50 with a very, very solid field was awesome. Was really, really, really cool.
Yeah, yeah. And I heard someone talking about the Masters divisions the other day, and they said it's interesting because they're all so tight all the time because it's not like MA1 to MPO that you're rolling through based on your age.
Yeah.
And so you're getting the same people who are dominating the next year playing a different division, and it just opens everything up again.
Yeah.
And it just remains so tight. And I think he came from behind.
Yes.
Really good win.
Actually, it's funny. I did hear, I watched an interview with Dave Feldberg on this.
Oh, the Feldy.
Yeah. And he was previously, you know, he was sponsored by Latitude. But he was talking about like how most of the field, like at Masters, not a lot of them have forehands.
Oh, right.
So yeah, and he was talking about how, you know, they've grown up with disc golf differently and the discs were different, so not a lot of them had forehands, Feldberg included, where he throws rollers instead of forehands. But he's saying how it's going to be very interesting for the Masters over the next sort of 10 years when a lot of these guys come up, like your Pauls, your Rickies, you know, your Yuleys, your Nate Sextons, your Big Germs, all those guys start hitting that and wanting to take out like the MP40s and that sort of thing and going to bring in these like wicked forearms. Yeah, and I was just like, oh, there's something I never really considered, but yeah, anyway, thought that was interesting.
That's an interesting point. I thought when you first said they didn't have forehands weren't as big a thing, I thought it was, you know, your elbow might be cooked when you get to 40 or 50 years old, because I'm looking like mine's going to be cooked by 25.
We'll have to
let alone 40.
Chris Hart, I think, he's in the 40 club. I think he's got a pretty
elbow and shoulder.
Cooked shoulder. All right. The other note I wanted to make with Johnny McRae taking out the MP50 for the World Champs, Latitude have released a very, very cool looking Grand Orbit Saint Pro. Cool stamp, some cool colors. So pick one of them up, and I think a bit of those proceeds go to Johnny as well. So very cool. Yeah. Who was next, Dill?
In MP40, Eric McCabe, the truth himself,
mate. World champ.
World champ, like MPO, like world champion.
Actual world champ, MPO.
Yeah.
Like Eric McCabe.
14 years ago.
Yeah. Now,
time.
yeah, mate, I reckon there's a few like post-COVID dudes who, you know, don't know that EMAC isn't the name of a plastic.
Yeah.
It's actually a dude, Eric McCabe. So, yeah, absolutely incredible to see him take third. I think it was pretty hotly contested as well. Maybe
I think it was a bit of a
blowout
between first and second.
Yeah.
Joe Revere.
Yeah.
I think from Oregon, Cole Rodalin, I think has played a lot with him and speaks very highly of him.
Yeah. Joe Revere used to be on the scene a bit more.
But yeah, Eric McCabe with third, very solid.
Yes.
Very, very solid.
Yeah. I mean, he's one person like we've just seen it. Beaver, you know, stay fling. Nate Doss coming back and having a round and playing Pro Tour. I would love to see Eric McCabe get back into it.
And just a side note, did you also? I think it was talked about and it was a little bit looked over that the feature card with Nate Doss on it was the same as the lead card for the final round of Worlds when it was at that. Course.
Yeah,
I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
Mate, no wonder people would like they had a crowd following them around.
Oh yeah. But back to EMAC too.
Yes.
So it was in Emporia.
Yep.
Home of Dynamic Discs.
Yep.
So
he knows the course.
He knows it.
He designed most of it, I think.
and he pulled through. He did well.
Yeah. Super solid. The guy can still rip, still putt. It's awesome to see him take a podium at the World Championships. And then, look, we wanted to also highlight JB. Now, we sort of mentioned he was over there. I think he was halfway through the tournament in the last episode. If you jump over to the latest episode of the Tee-Off, we actually caught up with JB and heard about his travels. But, yeah, he ended up coming 67th in the MA50. Maybe not exactly how we wanted to play, but, geez, the dude just had an absolute time and experience and finishing is beside the point. Sometimes it is about the experience, and he'll come back pretty strong with I'm sure like a handful of pretty sweet discs as well.
And then he did finish pretty strong actually. I think the day after we talked about him on the pilot episode, he shot a 920 final round.
So super solid,
good on him. But like you said, it's about the experience.
Yeah, at least you get one, you know, I mean, I'm pretty sure at USDGC I was even or something like that.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, I had one putt to go, one down. I was like, I feel like that would have been like I beat the course. Yeah. Even still, all right. I was on par for the course.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's even, that's the par for a reason.
Yeah.
Met expectations.
Anyway, all right, moving on. Now, Dill, you've highlighted Is it the Ale Open or the Ali Open? But I
want to believe it's the Ale Open.
Ale Open.
I doubt it though, but we'll go with it.
All right. Well, tell me about it, mate. Why have we highlighted this?
We've highlighted this with Oni Arminen, fellow Latitude 64 teammate, taken out third. Tie for third. And I hadn't heard his name, but that was a pretty high profile event over in Europe.
Yeah, was it DGPT or it was just A tier?
I'm not sure.
You talk about Oni and I'll look it up.
He's been playing for 4 years. He's relatively new. Sounds like a COVID golfer, but he's already 1,021 rated.
It was a DGPT silver. There you go.
Yeah. So big result for Oni.
Oni.
Yeah, and so he's 1021 rated. He had a 1039 event rating. Very solid.
So are you doing a honourable mention?
An honourable mention.
Yeah.
That's even for me to not get a chuckle out of that.
That's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. All right. Good. I nailed it.
What do you reckon it cost to enter the tournament? An arm and a leg? Anyway, we'll move on. So I want a little profile for a lesser known player. I think that's a cool little part of what we're doing is highlighting some players you might not know about. Yeah. His favourite discs are...
And praying they listen to the pod.
Please listen. His favourite discs are the Rive. He drives with the Rive. He putts with the Hope, which is interesting. We talked about that last week.
Yes.
So I think a lot of...
it's starting to be a bit of a common theme here.
Players might be jumping ship. I want to kind of try it out.
Yeah. Well, I've got a few in the shed. Maybe we should highlight that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
All right.
But yeah, he hasn't played outside of Europe, so I'd love to see him. I think this Disc Golf Pro Tour events is a start. You know, there's some Americans coming over now, and I'm sure he's lining up some big ones in the next month or so.
Yeah, cool.
So we'll keep an eye on him.
Well, the European swing is really right here, right now, starting to take off. So we are seeing a lot of the US players sort of head over, and we've got a couple of the DGPT events coming up, and I'm seeing some of those lists look pretty healthy. But lots of European players on the list there, and even some Aussie players. I think Lukey Bain he's snuck into a few of those events there as well. So yeah,
still rolling along.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
Nice. Cool. So next up after that, the Preserve Championships. Now
back in the States.
Yeah, back to the States. And we did we put some tips out, and I think our tips did all right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I was following closely.
Yeah.
Wanting to see how the tips fared. How did they fare?
Well, I think we were highlighting Ricky last time. We said he's gone podium, and he's improving. And I think we put him the tip to get on the podium again and maybe even get the win. And mate, he did it back to back.
Is he the hottest player on tour, Paddy?
I think he is. Yeah. I mean, he's gone what is it? Third, second, now first,
and I think fourth before that, third or fifth. Like he's had 4 top 5s in a row, capped off with a win. Important stretch of the season.
Yeah. And very excited. Like, I hope he's not peaking too close to Worlds. I mean, we're not that far from Worlds.
Hey, he can hold a peak for a long time.
He can.
Ricky, he can hold a peak.
I'll tell you what. I've still felt there was a few things. Like, I mean, you've put a few stats in here. Like his C1X putting was huge. So then that 97%. With one, only one miss. All right, that is exciting. That is some old Ricky stats. 40% from C2. Still pretty solid. I'd probably like to see. That's probably the best actually he's probably been so far.
And that
this
was
season
pretty good compared to a lot of the field at that tournament. I know there's a fair few raised baskets, and it seemed to be pretty high in terms of percentage.
Yeah, I think
compared to everyone around him.
40% on those Prodigy baskets is probably really 60%.
Probably
from C2.
Probably.
Yeah, geez, did you see some of those spit outs?
Oh yeah, it makes me cry, so I don't really want to talk about it. Bowen Valley treated me better on the weekend.
Oh goodness me!
I only had 3.
We'll get to that. Another pretty incredible stat here from Ricky is that he only had 1 bogey.
And was it from an out of bounds stroke?
It was not.
How many?
I think he must have had like a multiple putt or something.
Was it his one circle 1 miss?
One maybe.
Well, no, because he had a 90% scramble rate, so he missed the fairway 10 times and didn't scramble one of them.
Jeez, that is old school Ricky Wysocki coming out.
Oh yeah,
that's scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was the only player in the field out of MPO and FPO.
Yeah,
with no OBs.
Yeah,
that's pretty handy. So yeah, absolutely dominant performance from Ricky Wysocki, and it was super tight at the top there as well with Kyle Klein and Isaac Robinson as well. So yeah,
and Matty O,
yeah, he was coming in hot that final round
too.
Absolutely storming. So really, really cool to see Ricky actually get this win in a pressure-filled finish and showing some of these incredible stats. So
we're looking at you.
Cool. Yeah.
Let us know if he's the hottest player on tour.
Yeah.
And if not, who is? Because I don't know. Gannon, but he didn't win this one. So
yeah,
it's not recent enough, is it?
It's going to be hard to argue against Rick. I think you made a good point. If you look at the last 3 to 4 events alone. All right, next up, you've highlighted Matty O. Now, we just mentioned he came in storming in that final round, but ended up taking 3rd, which is pretty damn solid. And we haven't seen Matty O just really sort of shine as much this year so far. Like he's been there and stuff, and I think he's playing a little bit less.
I was surprised because I thought the same, and then I saw a post on social media, and he's actually moved into 5th in current world rankings.
Oh, really?
After this 3rd place.
Yeah, right.
So he must be just missing lead cards, missing the live coverage, maybe not as much.
I mean, him firing in the final round is just classic Matty O.
And did you see his last putt in the final round?
Yes, I did.
And that was
good.
at that point that was big too, because he only ended up 2 back of Ricky,
Yeah.
1 back of second. Like
He's just
to the end.
when he feels it and he's in the groove, he just goes hard. Yeah, super cool.
I actually saw a reel just before I came.
Yeah.
It was like a remix of a song. It was like left, right, and it's all his follow throughs, how he does like the half dab. It is like, I'll show you later.
Yeah, please.
We'll put it
Send
up
that
on
to
the
me.
socials. It
We'll
was pretty
share
funny.
it. 100%.
Pretty funny.
All right, so some cool stats from Matty O. Longest average putt distance in the field, which is 19 feet. Unreal. And Dylan, you've mentioned that he carries 2 putters in the bag. You thought this was an interesting point.
Well, because we talked about it last week.
Yep.
We talked about, we weren't sure if he putted with a maiden. That's kind of what our guess was.
Mm-hmm.
He throws his maiden.
Yeah,
His
right.
maiden is his throwing putter.
I don't know if I have a maiden, actually.
Yeah, it makes me want to. He spoke very highly of it. I watched a little bit of it, and on his profile, his quote underneath his maiden was "made for everything."
Made for everything.
MAID.
That's why you
So
love
I
it.
like him
That
more
tickled
already.
you.
I like him more already. But his putter, what's his putter?
He's putting with a judge.
Judge.
Yeah, I can see that actually. Yeah, very solid putter.
Yep.
Did we highlight that last time? I don't think we did. Or maybe that's some fuel for next time. Judge and a maiden. Maybe we'll try and get our hands on one. Surely Fergie has one we can grab. And then I'm sure, actually, in all honesty, we probably do have some in our
Probably. Yeah.
in our collections.
Yeah. I think my dad putts with a judge sometimes when he comes out.
I definitely have a judge. I've got a few judges. Maiden, I'm not so sure about. But anyway, we'll test them out. But yes, pretty cool. Now, on his, you have another quote that you liked from.
I just thought
Matty.
this was cool. He had a quote under every disc in his bag. So his
yeah.
West Side Pro, and he had quotes under all of them.
It's cool.
And so it's cool. And his quote under the judge was Scotty Cameron. I thought that's weird. Maybe he named his putter and he's just weird like that. But no, Scotty Cameron is a world-renowned putter manufacturer for traditional golf. So hence the link between putting and
Scotty
putting
Cameron.
very well with the
I
judge.
like it.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting. He's a weird unit, but we love him.
He's a character. I love it. So yeah, super strong from Matty O. The other person in the MPO at the Preserve was Albert Tam as well. So coming in 19th, the top 20. So really solid from him. I actually had him in my Grip 6, Pick 6. And yeah, he was working for me. So he's he's above his rating. So he's 1023 rated and he had 1030 for the event. So super solid from Albert, actually.
I mean, if 1030 is getting your top 20, that's just showing.
That's scary, isn't it?
It's scary.
It's scary.
I think Ricky was like 1060 something. That's crazy. Yep.
Nuts.
So good on you, Albert.
Well done, Albert Tam. So
FPO, Paddy.
yeah. Now,
Some big news here.
well, yeah, this was our other shout out in our last episode. So we were talking about Rebecca Cox. Like, she's been just building and building, and she podiumed. Come third.
I think I called that as well.
Yeah.
Run it back. I think I said she's podium.
Run it
I think she was 5th. I think she podiumed.
Yeah.
So
It's
from
mate.
Chase Card too. She had me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah. Am
And she did it.
I going to podium the next event I play?
What's the next event you're playing, Paddy?
I'm playing Big Wet.
The Big Wet, man.
On my birthday.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. I'll give you the win then.
You give me
I'm
the
calling
win.
the win.
Jeez, look out. All
A
right.
little birthday gift from me to you. The magic.
No,
the
you
magic
jinxed me
tip.
now. I'm too nervous. I'm already nervous. My heart's racing about it.
Yeah, it's
No,
always
we're talking
racing.
about Rebecca Cox. So smashing the third. Huge from her, actually. And we've been watching her for quite a few years since she came on the scene and on Latitude. So absolutely awesome to see her just really dialing in with her form, with her technique, and then with the play too. So yeah, huge podium, huge event for her.
And she came off the Chase Card to get that podium, like I mentioned, with a 992 neg-5 final round. I think that was the second best round of the day.
Far out.
So great finish.
Yeah. Good on her. And then the other shout out that we had, and it's a name we haven't seen for a while, coming in the top 10, Kona Star Montgomery.
What a star.
What a star. Mate, just huge.
I think we talked about her last time. She was like 20th,
Huge.
20th a couple of times, and we we've done it again.
Yeah.
We're helping these guys out.
Yeah.
We're helping the girls out.
You're welcome. No, look, Kona, we know she's had time off because she's had this operation, but slowly coming back. But this must be huge for her confidence. And this helps her move into the top 50 of FPO world rankings. With that top 10 as well, she actually qualifies for the Throw Pink WDGC. So super cool. That's a nice little silver lining to your victory, or topping on the cake, cherry on the cake, whatever you want to call it. But a 968 event average for the whole event, pretty solid there.
And I think she's pretty comfortably a better than just a top 50 player, but with the context of what it is, I think that's a pretty cool confidence bit of a milestone. I mean, getting back up there from when we've seen her properly play. Like, would you say top 20? In the FPO? Easy? Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah. Really stoked to see her get this. And, the Preserve is not a, not a short course by any means. Yes, it's probably a little bit open. Your lines are pretty self-explanatory, but yeah, solid from her. Solid. And she has, we did notice on socials, she's made a post. She's come out and said, I have some news to share, ... Can you guess? And everyone... What is it not? What is it not?
What is it not? It's not a baby, and she's not leaving Prodigy. So,
okay,
good to know.
All right.
Good to know.
Not leaving Prodigy.
Yeah, not like everyone. She's not jumping on that boat. But we're going to have some speculation. So what do you think Kona's big news is, Dylan?
Oh. Well, there's talk... I reckon she's headed to Europe for a bit.
Headed to Europe?
Play European Open.
I think that's a pretty solid guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. I think they're jumping in, going out there, playing some of these big events, which I think would be bloody cool.
Well, we're seeing a lot of mid-season sponsor changes at the moment, but I don't think this is that.
No.
No. At all, which is good. Don't want it to be that.
No.
So let's see her over in Europe.
All right, we'll wait to see what... Yeah, she went and teased everyone, and that was about 12 hours ago, and then she hasn't posted anything since. So thanks, Kona. Really building the hype. But we'll see what the answer is. Now, I'm going to read this one out because I'm going to shout you out, Dylan. The Barwon Valley Bash. You came first, mate. You killed it with a 10:38 event rating. Now, it was a 2-dayer down at our...
1-dayer.
Oh, sorry, a 1-dayer, 2-rounder, I meant. But, man, you hit some big strides on the old Barwon Valley course.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like morning golf. And it was about 3 degrees when we teed off.
Yeah.
At 9 o'clock in the morning, and I shot 10:43 that round.
Solid.
So now I like morning golf.
Yeah, okay.
But don't change MPO to morning. That's not what I'm saying. But it worked well for me this day.
I don't mind it. I'm up early.
Yeah, that's because you're a dad. I'm not a dad yet, all right? When I am, maybe I'll understand.
How'd the back feel?
The back was all right. The first 30 holes. The last 5 or 6 holes, it got a little bit sore, but it was fine.
The last 5 holes that you birdied still?
Well, yeah.
Part of your 10-hole birdie streak at the end?
Yeah, well, I did jump on a little birdie.
Good to know it was sore. Yeah. Great.
A few forehands in there. Take it. But no, it held up pretty well, actually. It was the first time I've thrown 2 rounds in a day in a while.
Yeah.
But it was nice.
Nice.
And it was play some consistent golf with only a few spit outs.
Yeah. Only a few.
Yeah.
So it could have been hotter.
Yeah, I had 2 in a row in the first round. And then 1 in the second round.
Gross.
So, but I think everyone did, so it probably evens out.
That's all right. Oh, good, mate. Well done. Solid win and solid, very, very solid play.
Nice bit of confidence before Queensland next weekend.
Yes, that is exciting. Yeah. Unfortunately, I've pulled the pin. I was going to go, but no, got to stay close to the wife.
Fair enough.
Well, I'm
going to leave mine. She's not happy
wife.
about it.
Yeah.
My unpregnant wife is not happy about me leaving. So
well, that's okay. She'll go out with the girlfriends.
Maybe she can talk to Em about it.
Yeah. All right. We'll invite her over. Bitch about Dylan. I'll bitch about Dylan as I sit there and watch the PDGA live. Anyway, next up, that brings us to the end of the recap. Hope you didn't doze off, but no, some pretty solid play lately, and awesome job, Team Trilogy.
Yeah.
All right, next up, building the Trilogy bag. Now, we started talking about this last time. We highlighted a few of the putters and throwing putters that are in our bags, and some that we are familiar with. I just wanted to highlight, so since the last episode, I went out and tried the Faith putter, and I did throw it a couple of times. Very, very straight. I don't think it's really suited as, it's a 2-speed as an actual a throwing putter. It should be a putting putter. I didn't have a really good chance to actually test it out on the basket, but I think we're going to have to do a bit of a test with the Faith and the Hope moving forward and test them on the putting basket, Dylan. But I did go out and throw the Ruby. Now, the Ruby is a 3.5 -3 1. So it's super glidey and very understable. I would say this is the perfect disc for any beginners and any of the really slower speed arms getting out there. But I tell you what, I had a lot of fun with this thing.
Sounds like a fun disc. Those ones that have a lot of glide and a ton of turn, always the most fun discs to throw.
Oh, man, like my Circle 2 runs were feeling really hot, just like actually like putting on a touch of hyzer and just getting it to sort of slowly pop up and just giving it these big long runs.
Beautiful.
It was pretty fun.
It's a game of horse type of disc.
Yeah, 100%. So no, definitely wouldn't make my bag, but for those lower speed arms, it's one to check out. And then the other one that I tried was the Crown from Westside Disc. So this is a 3-speed, 4-glide, and a 0-1. And I was using this to throw with and off the tee. And I've got to admit, I really liked it. It was very sort of flat top, small little bit of bead, and the Crown that I had was very stiff plastic, like really, really stiff. So it just felt great in the hand for actually like throwing. And even though it says like a 0-1, which you would think is quite a neutral sort of flight, I was getting a bit of a stable sort of flight. So yes, it would go straight at the start, but then it would finish reasonably hard. I would liken it to actually maybe a 0-2 in all honesty.
That's cool.
Putter.
That's cool.
So yeah, very cool. I thought if, that sort of position in my bag has been filled for a long time in my harps and all that sort of stuff. And we'll come to that soon. But the Crown, if you're looking, you're loving some of those Westside discs and you're looking for like a really sort of flat top, stiff putter for throwing, I reckon the Crown is worth a squiz. Have you thrown one before?
I have not thrown a Crown before.
All right.
No.
Next round, I'll chuck it in and I'll see what you think of it as well.
All right. Sounds good.
Cool. All right. Then moving on. So the next part of this is we thought we'd talk about mid-ranges in building the bag. Was the next natural progression.
Love a mid-range.
Yes. Now, we don't probably have the amount of time in this one pod to talk about all the mid-ranges that we sort of have, because we do have a pretty decent selection here, Dill, or in our bags we do at least. So we're just going to touch on some of the absolute staples that I think would fit most people's bags and are probably the most popular Trilogy mid-ranges sort of getting around. And then we'll explore them over the next couple of episodes and all the other mid-ranges a little bit in more depth. But the first couple of ones that we have in our bag already, and I would be pretty surprised if these aren't in a lot of bags out there. So Dill, how about you kick us off first with
let's go with the fuse.
The fuse.
Let's start understable. Let's start with the
I like
that
it.
slot. That's how I put them in the bag at the start of a tournament before forgetting about order.
Yep.
The fuse, I've got at the moment in my bag, a gold ice fuse.
So for anyone that doesn't know, the gold is this plastic is that if you are an Innova fan or anything like that, it's the closest to sort of star. But then the ice part of it is a little bit stiffer and
colder.
No,
not really.
I believe that the idea is that these are a little bit more overstable than just a normal gold fuse. So, Dill, you've got a nice pink one there, and I'm bagging a nice yellow one.
That is tasty. I do like that yellow one. I saw you throw it the other day.
Yeah.
Looks tasty.
All right. And I carry a second fuse with me as well. It's probably
well known.
One of the oldest discs in my bag. I got this at the 2014 Two Heads Open down in Tasmania. This is the very, very old Dimax plastic. So this is gold plastic. And there was just something about the old Dimax that, I don't know, they're just sweet. They feel great. I mean, this is a 10-year-old disc. This is a 10-year-old disc. And it still flies absolutely amazing. So I do get a lot more turn out of this than the old gold ice. I use it for like little touch flick approaches and for big sort of backhand turnover throws as well, from anywhere from 40 up to sort of 80, 90 meters. So yeah, awesome disc.
Yep.
And I'll step up to a gold ice fuse if there's a little bit more wind around. I need that extra stability. So, the fuse is hands down one of the best and most. Would you call it underrated? In the scheme of things, if you put all the disc companies together,
yeah, I think so. I mean, Johnny McRae uses it. He's a world champion.
Yeah,
so use it. I would call it underrated.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
I think it's a disc that even if you have a lower arm speed, I've seen a lot of ultimate players come over to disc golf, and I've given them a fuse. I'm like, have you thrown this? It's got a lot of glide. Oh, we haven't shouted out the numbers. So it's a 5-speed, 6 glide, -1 0. So it will turn.
She's not coming back.
Well, but it doesn't burn over as well.
No, that's the good thing about it too.
Yeah.
It'll hold it, but it won't be a throwless situation.
Yeah. And so like why I give it to a lot of ultimate players is that, you know, when you throw an Ultra Star and it sort of starts to, you know, if you throw it really flat and it starts that slow sort of turnover, that's what you get with the fuse. But it never gets over enough to really do that shitty burn, cut and roll.
And because it has that little bit more integrity, it holds up in a bit of wind too.
Yeah.
You can still use it and it's not because it's not already inclined to just burn and turn.
Yeah.
Turn and burn.
So slower arm speed, beginner players, it's an amazing disc all the way up to the pros and world champions in Johnny McRae. So the fuse, definitely worth looking into if you haven't tried one before.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, I'll take the next one. Compass still. Now, this isn't my bag. This is your bag. It used to be in my bag.
It was your bag. And I'll tell you what, I've thrown some nice shots with this particular compass.
Yeah. If you ever want to go and see some of those nice shots, check out Parked Media because, you've thrown a few aces on footage with this thing.
And even Gatekeeper. Nationals in Queensland a couple of years ago, I got a replay.
Yes.
Got a replay on a nice tunnel shot. But yes, this compass in particular, very nice. Gifted to me by your good self.
Yeah, don't regret it at all. I might just put that one over here. No, mate. So tell us, what does this thing do?
It just goes straight.
It
just goes straight. I don't that one there. I can. It'll go straight if I'm throwing it at 60 or 70%. A little bit of finish at the end, and I can throw it pretty hard, and it won't really turn over that much or at all, which I love about it. So that one will stay in my bag until you've stolen it or I've lost it. And I just wanted to quickly mention too the new Linus, still haven't figured it out.
No.
Compass with the sliced bread.
Yeah.
Best stamp of the year. It's taken my vote so far. But this one's just a little bit more stable and it's great. So a little bit more wind or no wind, it's going to fade more. But yeah, they're just a good disc.
Yeah, man, this thing looks sweet too. I've actually, since our last round, you were throwing this thing pretty sweet. So I ordered one myself. So keen to see how this thing flies in my hands. But yeah, it was looking pretty tasty coming out of yours.
Yeah, I mean, I used it on a hole at Barn Valley. For those who know the course, hole 11, it's a 100-meter hole, maybe. He's starting kind of across an OB lake, and I threw this thing on a tiny bit of hyzer over the lake, and it never stood up and just kind of drifted straight with that little slight hyzer.
Yeah.
Parked it. Didn't have to throw it too hard, and that's 100 meters, trusting it over OB.
Yeah. Unreal.
Yeah, it's a good disc.
Good disc.
Love the compass. That's been in my bag for a long time. Like the compass mold. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. And the numbers for that one it's a 5-speed as well, 5 glide and 0-1 stability. So
Pretty accurate.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah, pretty accurate. What's next? What do
All
you
right. Next up, I wanted to shout out the Savior. Now, this it was in my bag, then it was out of my bag, and I got a new one, and now it's back in my bag. So I was playing around with the Royal when the Savior prototypes came out. Really initially liked the flight of it, and then they started to beat in a little bit. And I was a bit surprised at the numbers. So the Savior is a 4-speed, it's 4 glide, and it's meant to be 0-3 stability, so quite overstable. So I was a bit surprised to see the prototypes really start to stand up, fly very straight with a tiny little bit of fade at the end, and it just wasn't really fitting what I needed. But in my last order, I picked up one of these Sense Saviors.
What is Sense?
Sense is the plastic. So it feels like...
Does it smell or taste particularly good, or is it just a feel? What senses are we talking about?
It's definitely feel. It's definitely
feel.
It looks
nice. It looks nice.
I don't know what it smells. Nah. I shouldn't smell.
You don't lick your discs?
No. Give it that huck tour. Spit on that thing. No, I don't do that. But yeah, look, this Sense plastic, I feel like it's a little bit more... It's like a step down from that base. It just feels like a little bit grippier, like a grippier gold line kind of plastic. And I tell you what, this thing, it's really stiff, this Sense Savior. Like I can barely sort of bend it, which I really like. And it is definitely flying true to that 0-3 stability. It is way more just really can trust this thing. Because it's flat and stiff, I really like the feel of it for a forehand throw, including the backhand as well. And how would you describe it? Like the sheerness, the steepness of the actual rim,
really comfortable too.
So comfortable in the backhand.
Very comfortable. Yeah.
Oh, it just sort of fits right into my my righty backhand grip. Love it. I think this is a really cool, like what maybe the prototype should have felt like and fly like to me. So I'm glad that I did buy this, and I think this is going straight in my bag now. So pretty excited about it.
Yeah, and I have got one of those prototype ones, and this one has beaten in, like you said.
Yeah,
I love the grip. I don't often feel comfortable gripping a mid-range forehand as comfortable as backhand, but the Savior really does fit quite comfortably for both grips. Good disc.
Yeah, definitely worth a look. Probably, what would you liken it to with other sort of discs and company sort of stuff? Maybe what's
your one?
Yeah.
Well, I think maybe when they beat in, maybe like a stable like Buzz or Buzz OS.
Yeah.
That's not super beefy. I know a lot of people around Geelong throw them.
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple of mates that throw them.
What's the Discraft one that the harp like thing?
Not the Zone.
Yeah, Zones.
The Zone.
Yeah,
maybe
probably
your one.
Yeah.
When you were throwing it, we went to Inverleigh and it looked like that.
Yeah.
I would say it's even a 5-speed. That's probably the one thing I don't agree with.
4 seems kind of slow for it, to be honest.
Because like we'll talk about the harp in a second, and the harp's a 4-speed as well. And I would say the Savior has a significant enough more speed.
Yeah.
To bump it up to a 5 maybe, but
I think that's fair.
We just throw them and it's a good disc.
Yeah, that's it. All right, well, next up, let's talk about the harp. So this is definitely one that a disc that we've bagged for years. It's like, would you say it's the most popular Westside disc?
Well, we don't want to keep harping on about it, but it's definitely up there. I mean, Ricky made it very well known.
Yeah.
I think in his 16, 17, 18, 2016.
Yeah.
That kind of span of years.
I mean, if you haven't heard of a West Side Harp, your head's under a rock, really. But definitely one that we've bagged. So it's a 4-speed, it's a 3 glide, and it's a 0-3 stability. So very similar number-wise to the Savior. But I 100% agree with you, Dill. I feel like I can throw the Savior a lot further than the Harp, and I feel like it does fly faster. So yeah, the Harp though, I've got one that's been in the bag for almost 10 years as well, I'd say, that took an absolute thrashing on Nate Lee's course at Granite Mountain one year, and it's so beat it just flies perfectly now. It pops and actually probably flies like a 0-1, I would say.
I love those discs. They just beat into something completely different, but you love it.
Yeah. It's an absolute staple in my bag, but I do have missed the stability of the Harp as well. So I've got a new one in the bag as well, a brand spanking, which is flying truer to those numbers, but I think the Savior is actually going to bump that one out.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. Yeah. I will say as well, the Harp is one of those discs that's so popular. It's come out and been released in, I reckon, every plastic imaginable. And so if you don't like it because the one you felt didn't feel nice, just go look for another one. Yeah. It's in every plastic.
Yeah, true.
Keep looking till you find one. They all fly relatively the same.
Yeah. The Moonshine Harps are pretty popular.
Yeah,
they're pretty
good.
Really
stable too.
Yeah. Yep. They feel good.
Yep.
Nice.
That's good.
All right. And the last mid-range that we were going to talk about as, an absolute staple in a lot of people's bags is the Dynamic Discs Justice. So the Justice is a 5-speed, 1 glide.
It's a brick.
Positive 0.5, and then that's the fade. So it's positive, and then 4 turn.
So perfect for turnovers then.
Yeah. The pure dictionary description of meat hook. Yeah.
Yep.
So do you bag one?
I do not bag one.
Yeah, no. I didn't think you did, actually.
It's interesting. That's probably a spot in my bag where I need to, where there could be a potential gap.
Yeah.
Because I've got, probably for that shot, I use a slammer.
Yeah.
And I could probably stretch it out another 30 or 40 meters with a Justice. Would you
100%.
say? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't feel the need to. I've got a couple of stable Saviors, which aren't as stable, would you say?
Yeah.
But yeah, I could. All right,
mate, I can't believe that you don't bag a Justice.
I don't reckon I've ever thrown one.
Oh,
is that what Terry Bowen uses for rollers?
Yeah, Terry Bowen just bags a Justice. That's all he does. That's what he throws.
Yeah, there you go.
There's a sneaky scoop as well. If you've never tried to roll a Justice, try that thing.
Yeah,
see how far that thing goes.
Yeah.
But no, I bagged this Justice here. The plastic. What would you call this?
It was
Fusion. I think it's Fusion plastic.
It feels a little bit like the Sense plastic.
Yeah,
like kind of like a gold star kind of plastic, but a bit tackier, not quite as slick.
I found this in a seconds bin when I was over in America, and then when I was hanging out with Reese Kruger in Queensland, we ended up putting some cool stamps on it. But this thing has been in my bag for a very, very long time. I ended up picking it up out of seconds bin because I hoped that it would be a little bit more beat up. It's definitely beat up, but it's still very, very overstable.
Still flies like a Justice.
Still flies like a Justice. Perfect for forehand approaches, perfect for backhand approaches, perfect for wind. You just know what this thing's going to do. And it's just one of the best overstable mid-ranges out there, honestly.
Do you think that the Sense Savior will knock it out of your bag, or the Justice will knock the Savior out of your bag?
Nah.
Are they different?
Yeah, the Justice will fly longer. I mean, that thing has beat a little bit from a brand new Justice, and I can really crank on it to about that sort of 100 meters or so. I don't know if I can probably trust a Savior to go that far with it. I'm sure I could probably get it there, but I think I would put less effort into throwing and getting a Justice there than I would a Savior. So
interesting.
It would stay in my bag for the
maybe that's
moment.
the difference between 4 and 5 speed. Maybe that settles it.
Yeah, maybe that settles it. Maybe the Justice isn't actually a 6. I don't know.
Wait, maybe.
But no, definitely worth a look if you've never thrown a Justice. Get out there and try one of them. You're crazy if you don't. And if you live anywhere where wind gets up, far out, man, put it into your bag.
So
do yourself a favor.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now, there's a whole heap of mid-ranges that we haven't talked about there. Still stuff that we haven't talked about, the Wii bag. But I can see we're already pushing the sort of 15 minutes with this segment. So we'll move on. We'll talk about them next on the following episode, which would be cool.
Hopefully we did that section justice. Hopefully. That's like 4. All right. I'm out of here.
Nah. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Release radar, Paddy.
Am I the saviour for moving us on?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, cheers.
That's a good one.
All right. Next up, one that we like doing quite a bit is checking out the old release radars, seeing what is coming out on our favourite website and what new discs are coming. Because I don't know, Dill, I've been in this sport for over a decade and I still get excited about new discs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when
enough said.
I'll probably check their website once a day, early morning, have a quick squiz, see what came out overnight, see what I missed out on.
See how much money I have to convince Ellie to let me spend.
Yeah, pretty much. So there was a pretty cool drop recently on the Latitude factory store. A Grace, a Saviour, and a Glimmer Explorer all came out with the Huck Lab stamps. And mate, I tell you what, I saw the Saviour and saw the Grace and thought, yeah, I am nabbing that. But they sold out within minutes, unfortunately. So I missed out. That hurts, but that's all right. Someone out there will enjoy those ones. Cool to see little Huck Lab stamps getting them around.
Did Ryan Hart get some of those Huck Lab stamps? I saw he had Huck Lab daggers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard that was something different.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
When they Hack Lab?
Yeah. Busted. Ryan Hart. Ryan Hart. He did a DIY.
I think he was a bit sad he missed out too. Yeah.
I reckon he had about 5 people comment before he finished the front 9 of the Barn Valley Bash.
Yeah.
Asking where he got them and he said, I just drew them on. And they were good from a distance, like most art.
It's one of those ones where, you're far away from something, you're like, oh, that's a very attractive person walking towards me, and then they get a bit closer. And you're like,
not talking about you, Ryan Hart.
No.
Discs, yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Ryan Hart.
Huck Lab daggers though. Huck Lab daggers.
Yeah.
I'd get on them.
I would get all over that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to commission Ryan Hart to make me one though.
No, probably not.
Probably not.
Probably for the best.
Anyway, moving on. The other really cool thing that we did see drop, and they are still available. So yeah, we're not just here to talk about the stuff that we missed out on. But there's some really cool patches that got released from Latitude recently. So there's a Latitude one, there's a Dynamic one, there's a Westside one, but there's also some Huck Lab patches that Velcro onto your bag. And I thought they were really cool. So I ended up snagging some of them. I love like the little side, accessory sort of stuff as well. So yes, that was one that just got released. So if you've got that spot on your bag, you want a really cool, especially like the Huck Lab ones, like, not everyone listening to this, well, I would assume most people enjoy Trilogy who are listening to this, but if you're not fanboying too hard, you like a Huck Lab one, go check that one out, because I think they're only like $7. Pretty cool. And then over to the US shores on Dynamic Disc, there was a couple of really solid drops. And we sort of see this throughout the year. The main big, the higher sort of tier players on the team get, a few discs that they bring out over the year. And we saw a few drops for them. So Matty O has released a VIP Chameleon Hatchet, which, true to the West Side, stamps. The thing looks so cool. I've not thrown a hatchet really at all, but if Matty O's bagging it, I feel like I kind of want to try it. Like 9 speed,
understable fairway.
Yeah, 6 glide looks like a very controllable fairway.
I can just imagine him with his elongated run up and follow through, just absolutely peering some woods lines.
Look like he never puts anything on it and the thing just goes a mile.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that got dropped. There was also the VIP Ice Orbit Moonshine Gatekeeper. That is starting to get a little bit of a mouthful there. Basically, it's a really pretty glow-in-the-dust Gatekeeper, which is a mid-range disc. That is for Cyanunda. So that's one of her fundraiser discs. It looks pretty cool. The other one was Raven Klein. Has released a Lucid Chameleon Escape. Again, not
Very
something
cool
that
stamp.
I've really tried, but again, looks pretty cool. Like a fairway driver, controllable fairway driver.
Pretty similar to the Hatchet, maybe just a bit more stable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got some cool colors there and a very cool stamp. And then finally, Dill, what is the last one?
The Supreme Burst Socky Bomb Felon.
Ooh.
You just know those are going to sell out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Especially being a Felon, just a workhorse kind of overstable fairway driver. When you put a bit of burst and a nice, what is that, a dinosaur on it?
Yeah, that is the Ricky Raptor legs.
Raptor legs with a bit of Wysocki.
Yeah.
That'll fill up many bags.
Yeah, that thing looks pretty cool too. I do like the burst plastics as well.
Cool colours too.
Yeah, so there's some pretty cool drops recently. So if you're looking for some tasty discs, go and check them out. And in turn, you get to support some of these big names there. So yeah, very cool. All right, with the release radar as well, Dill, we have been pretty hot on ordering some stuff lately. And I talked about it last time. I had a drop coming. It arrived since the last episode, and
Same.
mate, I've been pretty damn excited about this. So in the drop, I got quite a few things, but I want to talk about the General. So the General has been the newest release from DD, and it's a Ricky design disc. So it's a 12-speed, 5-glide, 0.3 fade. Now, I did bring it in with me. So I ended up ordering two. I've got this nice sort of green Orbit one here. Sorry, I lie. It's a 12-speed. It's 4-glide and 0.4. Man, I butchered the numbers there.
You got the 12 and 0, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Dill. Halfway there. But I tell you what, this thing is phenomenal. I love it. It's gone straight in my bag. I kind of liken it to. Immediately, it felt like I love the Fortress from Westside Discs. Immediately, it felt like an overstable version of that. But since playing with it a bit more, and I thought the numbers weren't maybe quite that 0.4, but since mucking around a bit more with it, I think that they're pretty close. 0.4 to me sounds like complete meat hook, so I'd probably stand by maybe that 0.3. With the backhand, I feel like I can get quite a bit of power on this. Really push it out there. It holds the line and it does fade pretty hard at the end, but feels absolutely fantastic in the hand. I'm throwing this thing with full confidence with backhands and forehands. Really, really digging it, and I've already ordered 3 more. So,
oh boy,
yeah,
there you go.
Oh boy,
he's taking them before you can.
And Dill, I believe you've got some on order too. I think I've talked it up.
Came 2 days ago.
Okay.
So I've got 2 on the shelf. I haven't thrown them yet. I don't know if I'll get a chance before Queensland to at least be confident enough to put them in the bag, but
that's fair enough.
I had to throw yours, and yeah, exciting.
Yes.
An exciting disc. It's just that
it would suit your arm speed too, I think, and that want for that stability.
It seems to me like that gap. So in my bag, I've got Rives as my main distance driver, and then down to kind of like a Pioneer.
Yeah.
Seems to be perfectly in that gap of I'm not wanting full distance, but it's more than like a stable fairway.
Yeah.
It's an exciting disc.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting to know it.
I think
the General.
If you ever have I don't know, I've had some Pioneers and some like Arties and stuff that have just sort of been like maybe the glide was a little bit off, or maybe the stability was a little bit too much, or they weren't quite consistent enough, I guess, to really stay in my bag. But this is kind of giving me the consistency vibes with that overstability to really stay in my bag. Yeah, so pretty excited about these ones. That's for sure.
And for those of you who always struggle with with trivia nights, the more you throw this thing, the better your general knowledge will increase. So you'll be loving it.
Jeez. All right, moving on. Far out. Episode 2, and we're all. How many people have stopped listening already?
Yeah, definitely. We'll work on it. We promise.
The other one that came in the drop, which is a new release as well, from Westside Discs, which is pretty exciting because they haven't had too many new discs come out, but it is the Prince that they released. So I was pretty excited about this one reading it because it's a 13 speed, 5 glide, 0 turn, 3 fade. I'm like, okay, sick. Westside have released like an overstable Ballista Pro.
Yeah.
And big, beefy, away it goes. And this is in the tournament plastic. So, like your gold line, like your Fusion.
Yep.
This thing flies like an overstable Ballista Pro, like the old ones. And I freaking love it. It does take me back to the old sort of overstable, the burst gold line Ballista Pros that I used to have that were pretty, a little bit, not quite meat hooky, but you could trust it in some big wind. I'm still testing in some wind, but this thing is really showing me those signs. So I'm very excited about it. It feels fantastic in the hand. I'm throwing this with a big sort of reliable, trusty forehands and big backhand distance. It's pretty sweet. And Dill, I did get you to throw this one. Your arm speed is a little bit faster than mine, so it did pop up a little bit more for you. But I mean, you piffed it out to at least 130 pretty comfortably, I'd say.
Yeah. It had a little bit of pop up, but never really threatened to do anything crazy with its turn. From the couple throws I had, it was really nice.
Yeah,
just a nice distance driver.
And I got to be honest, like I get that a lot of like the Trilogy guy, a lot of the newer discs that they're releasing is for, the bigger population. They're trying to capture a larger market, so there is a lot of higher glide, maybe less, like more stable, understable, sort of going in that direction, you would say. But I'm so excited that a big beefy like overstable,
two of
driver,
them, the General too.
Yeah,
it's good.
I mean, that's sort of like a lot of my favorite discs that I've got in my bag have been those overstable sort of things, and then you beat them in and work them up to something that's incredible. So yeah, I'm pretty excited that the Prince has come out, and again, I've ordered a few more. So yeah, definitely one to sort of check out if you're looking for that sort of spot in your bag. Yeah. And the other one was the Sense Savior, the new disc. So I've already talked about that, but very excited about that one.
Yep.
All right, Dale. Now we moving on. We did this briefly last episode, the Guess the Disc. And we had a bit of fun with it. So we're going to do it again. I put Dylan on the spot with a pretty hard one. And you maybe didn't do that to me, and I got the guess. So we're 0 for 1. 1 for 0.
It was still impressive. It's more difficult than it looks, but it's 1-0. Paddy's up.
Yeah,
getting very competitive about this already.
I'm feeling it. So I think did I go first last time?
You did.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I will be going first this time.
You can go first this time.
I have been feeling my discs all week.
All right.
In all my spare time.
Okay.
So, but these are your discs. So
feeling what?
Feeling my discs.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yep. Good. Just clarifying. All right. Chuck that on there. Take your time. This sounds great for all the audio listeners.
A bit of extra rustle. Righto, I think I'm set.
All right, I'm showing the camera what it is. Here we go. All right. There you are, Dill.
Here we are. Oh, okay. We got a high-speed driver. How am I in relation to the mic? Can you hear me?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, good. All right, good.
Solid.
I got a high-speed driver. It feels... No, I don't want to say it feels overstable or understable because I really don't know. I'm going to say overstable though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say something. Oh man, it feels kind of new. It doesn't feel very worn.
When you get something right, I'll tell you, it is very new.
It's very new.
Very new.
Man, I'm not. This is not my guess. I'm almost thinking Prince, but I think that this underside little bit different. But I'm tempted because it feels it's like a gold plastic, tournament plastic. Is what I'm feeling.
On the money there.
I'm gonna say it's not Arrive. I know what Arrive feels like. Oh, I've said it now. If this is Arrive, I'm gonna not look good. But this is not Arrive, and I don't think it's a Blister Pro. It's too narrow. I'm gonna say this is the Prince.
The Prince?
No, it's not. I'm not saying it because it's too. This bit here is too short. It's too narrow. Oh man, that me being one up is really getting to you. It is
already.
I'm sweating. I'm sweating. This bit here, it's not wide enough to be like a 13 spin.
All right, Dill, come on.
All right. I'm going to lock in. And no, I'll lock in the Prince.
Yeah,
the tournament Prince.
All right, take a look.
You're kidding?
Yeah,
really?
That is a Grace.
The Grace.
Oh mate, you were on the money too. Like
I know, I didn't. You pressured me.
Yeah,
you put me under a time limit. I didn't know we had a time limit going on. You Nico'd me.
I don't have a time limit, but
that's fair enough. I'd like to think if
you had another
30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Yeah, because I knew that the underside here, it's not wide rim enough.
Should we bring in the new? Have you seen the new proposed rule for the PDGA?
The timeout.
Yeah. Terrible name, but yeah. All right, we'll get that. You get two of them. You can ask for another 30 seconds next time. How about that?
All right. I like it. Yeah, give me a 10-second warning. Don't just say, "All right, come on." No, that's a good disc. The Grace. We haven't really talked about it very much, but
we will.
Le Grace.
We will.
All right. Le Grace. No, good one. But I'm coming for you. It'll stay at 1-0. I'm telling you, it's going to stay at 1-0.
All right.
Clear as mud.
Clear as mud.
All right. I'm going to show the camera. All right. You ready?
Okay.
You ready for this? Here you go.
All right. We got a driver. Flat top. Ooh, that's a pretty... That rim is reasonably thick. Oh, it's definitely overstable. I'm kind of feeling like Pioneer sort of realm, but I know you want to get one over me. So it's almost feeling like kind of Trident as well. Would you give me a Trident to try and get me for last week? You probably would.
You scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I have not repeated a disc.
I'm going to say...
Oh, this is fast.
Artie from Westside Discs.
Ooh, have a look.
Oh, this is old.
The Triple X.
Oh, Triple X. Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though.
With overstable.
I'll tell you what. I was tossing up at home before this between the Artie and the Triple X.
There you go.
And I went the Triple X because I thought you might be a little more unfamiliar with it.
Yeah. That rim.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big, thick rim. Nice. I like it. This thing looks sick, by the way.
Yeah, vintage.
Yeah.
I used that a lot back in the day, but I haven't thrown it in a while.
I feel like you should revisit this. That's a cool old Dimax tab too. Very nice. All right, you are correct, sir. We stay at 0-1.
Righto.
Mate, and I tried to really give you a good go with a Grace.
I'm so flat about that. So flat.
All right.
This is embarrassing now.
Now, last little bit. Last week we did a bit of a wish list of stuff that we are looking for. Now, we're not going to do what we're looking for again because, that's feels greedy doing that two in a row. But just wanted to shout out Doug Adams did post on YouTube. So thank you, Doug. You're the first one who's done it. I don't know. I feel like, should we give him something?
Yeah. Let's give him something.
You might see him at Queensland. You can.
I'll bring something to you, Doug.
On your
Doug.
Up there. But yes, his comment was like, I think we were talking a bit about the pine last time. So he said, if the pine is too straight, if the pine is from Westside, try an anvil. It's almost a justice. I fully acknowledge my power level is about half compared to you guys.
Well, that's because there's two of us, obviously.
Yeah. But yeah, he's recommended the Anvil. Now, Doug, since you did mention this, I went out and I did try the Anvil. Now, I only have a couple of them, to be honest, and even one of them was like a prototype Anvil. And that thing, my prototype Anvil feels amazing. It's very overstable though, and it's like a VIP plastic.
That's like the see-through kind of one.
Yeah, like Champion, VIP. Like Opto.
Yep.
So I really did like the flight of the Anvil, but I'm kind of tempted to see if I can find one in like a tournament plastic, or even like a little bit sort of more baseline plastic, to see if one, it flies a little bit different and I could beat it up a little bit quicker. But I did really like the feel. It very sort of flat top, almost. For those who really, I'm going way back, who liked a really like flat top rock or a flat top buzz or something like that, but super overstable. So yeah, it was a really good suggestion, Doug. Good shout out. Thank you. And I'm going to keep my eye out for some other plastics in the Anvil. So I think that could be pretty damn cool, Dill.
Yeah. And another West Side disc, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cool stamp.
I think of Trilogy, West Side's probably the least thrown.
I think so.
Except for maybe the harp. Yeah.
Here's just a random thing as well.
I love it.
I've not seen, like, one of the most popular drivers that was West Side was the Weld.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's been no Welds released for donkeys. Donkeys, man. And that was like their go-to, big, beefy driver.
Yeah. And you have a nice real old one, don't you?
I don't have it anymore. I threw it into a pond in Queensland at Champs. Broke my heart.
Yeah, right.
But I've got a really cool. I do have a replacement, but it's like meat hook. But anyway, we digress.
Thanks, Doug.
Yeah,
Bit of
love.
Great suggestion.
All right.
Well, and you mentioned, I think I asked for an understable putter.
You
search.
You did
last time.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about the Pure. So I've actually had a Pure arrive a couple of days ago. So
okay.
I'm going to be trying out the Pure.
All right.
So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
and I'll get back to you.
We're gonna share a little bit of we took a little bit of video on the course the other day, so we'll be sharing a bit of that stuff on Instagram through the Tee Off channel as well, just to keep it all central, make it easy. But we hope that you've enjoyed episode 2. It's cool that we've done this. I hope that it's working well on YouTube as well. So, yeah, please let us know if you've got any questions about Trilogy, about the disc, about the equipment, about anything really, because we'd love to answer a few things on here. And, yeah, if you've got any, also questions for us about our games or anything like that, you can fire them in too. Or if you want to talk shit, do that too.
Yeah.
Just send it in
and
we'll read it out.
Talk to me in person. I'll be in Queensland next week.
Don't talk to me in person. I'm way too important and popular. I'm
the approachable one.
No, come say good day. We love chatting. And Dill, you're correct. You are heading up to Queensland next week. You excited about it?
I'm excited.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm excited about Queensland. I haven't been since Nationals a couple of years ago.
All right.
And I've seen a little bit of the course and it looks fun.
Yeah, I think it's going to appeal to the bigger arms. So... Look after the back. Oh, you were looking for a caddy, weren't you?
I was looking for a caddy.
Yeah. Did you get one?
I did. Thank you to everyone. If you're listening and you reached out, I had plenty of people reach out and offer their company.
Oh, you are the approachable one. There you go.
Well,
Yeah.
So it's great and I love it. Since I injured my back, it's been helpful to have someone out there.
Are you just avoiding the cart life?
Yeah, I'm avoiding the cart life. Not a cart fan. Sorry, Ricky. I love Ricky.
You have caddies on offer.
That's right. So I've got a couple of caddies. Shout out Joe Paul, young MJ15 player. He'll be helping me out on the Friday, and then
Joe. I hope you've been practicing some squats, mate, because Dylan's bag is not light.
But it's not the heaviest. He actually caddied for Nate Perkins in New Zealand.
Oh, really?
In the skins match.
Oh, cool.
So what experience? I'm looking forward to some expert advice.
Yep.
Just kidding. It'll be good fun. And Carrot Steel coming out.
Oh, Man of.
Saturday, Sunday.
Superman. All right.
So the heavy bag won't be an issue.
All right. Sweet. Nice.
So yeah, come and talk to me if you have anything.
Yeah.
Any questions or advice or feedback.
I'm sure you'll see him on League Card.
Hopefully. That's the plan. That's the plan.
All right. Well, we've rambled enough. We hope you enjoyed it. Please hit us up if you've got any questions. And until next time, thanks, Dill.
Keep throwing Trilogy.
Keep throwing Trilogy.